Hello CISD artists, it's me Mr. McBride. Hope you guys are doing well. This week we're going to learn about Mr. Picasso and how to draw or paint an abstract rooster.
Abstract means that it's not like real life. So you have a picture of a rooster on the left and then my drawing on the right. You can see there's lots of differences between the two of them. Mine's a little exaggerated and looks a little bit more simplistic, while the one on the left is an actual photograph. I'm going to show you how to do a rooster like mine, but if yours turns out different, that's fine, because first, you're being creative, which is awesome, and second, it will still be abstract even if you have yours looking different. Let's start. All right, to start, let's start at the top left of our paper, and I want you to make a backward C. After you complete your backward C, we're going to make another one starting from the top of our backward C. We'll make a smaller one on the inside that connects with the bottom line, and it looks like a moon shape. All right, I'm going to make a small circle at the top of my moon shape, and then a bigger circle to the right, just a slightly bigger circle. Those are our eyes. Just remember, if I'm going too quick, you can always pause the video. At the top of my circle, I'm going to make a line that goes up to the right and then goes straight down, vertical line, like a candy cane. At the bottom of my moon shape, I'm going to make some organic shapes using some curved lines. And then I'll make a vertical line that goes straight down, and it's going to curve to the right, back up, and then it's going to connect where my first candy cane shape stopped. All right, I'm going to work on my wing by doing a type of U shape, and then I'm going to move on to my tail. For my tail, I'll do a kind of curvy, wavy line that goes to the right, and it's going to make smaller and smaller little curved backward C shapes until I finally connect it back to my body. I'm going to return to my circles to add 2 dots, which will be my rooster's eyes. Then I'll go on the inside of my moon shape, or my mouth, and make a curved line that goes out, stops, and then comes right back in. This will be my tongue. Right above, I'll start making my rooster's, his part of his head by making what's known as a scallop line, or a kind of line that looks like a bunch of hills. The part of my rooster at the very top got squished because there wasn't enough room, and that's okay for me, but if you want more room, then I would start your rooster a little bit further down. The final part of my rooster I'm going to make are the legs. I start by making one skinny line that goes down, and then 3 lines that come out from the end of my vertical line. And those are my feet. Because this is an abstract rooster, remember, it's not going to look like the real thing. And because it's not going to look like the real thing, you can add little tiny details that make it look even more unique. Like I'm adding some eyebrows that are bent to make my rooster just seem a little bit more silly. So if you can think of something that makes yours unique, go ahead and add it. It's abstract after all. It doesn't have to look like the real thing. For our next step, we are going to outline our rooster in crayons. When we're outlining, that means to go over our pencil lines with something to make it darker and easier to see. When you're outlining, make sure to go at a slow pace to make sure that you are hitting right on those pencil lines as best as you can. It's okay if you make a mistake and slip up. If you slip up, you can always go back and erase the pencil line, and nobody will ever know. So try your best, go slow, be careful, but if you make a mistake, it's totally fine. Sometimes when it's difficult for me to outline a certain part of my rooster, I'll turn my paper so it becomes just a tad bit easier to trace over the pencil line. If you find there's something difficult for you to trace, try turning your paper like I did. All right, I'm going to fast forward through this next part, but make sure you're taking your time and being as careful as you can be. after I've outlined my rooster, I'm going to paint it. So what I need for this next part are going to be some paints, a cup of water and a brush, and something to keep all of the paints from making my table dirty. You remember in the past we've used things like a messy mat, but if you don't have that, maybe you can get a large sheet of paper to go underneath it. Anything to keep your table clean, because when we're making art, sometimes things can get a little messy. Now, just wanted to make a note that even though I'm using paints, you do not have to. If you get to the point where you outlined your rooster with black and you're like, I don't want to use paints, or I don't have paints, you can continue using crayons and color with a variety of colors, or you can use another material that you have, oil pastels, maybe you have watercolors instead of this type of paints. It's up to you to decide how you color your rooster. If you are coloring your rooster in any other way besides paint, go ahead and pause the videos to give you some ideas of how you might color yours, but don't be afraid to change up some of it as well. For the first color, I am going to use orange, and I'm going to color the beak of my rooster. I'm using temper paint, so I have to wake them up with water, and then I'm able to paint. Now that I've finished my beak of my rooster, I'm going to clean off my brush so I can get a new color. So anytime you want a new color, like for instance, I'm about to use the color red for the top part and bottom part of my rooster, I need to clean off my brush. So make sure you dip it and you don't swish it. So I'll dip, 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 wipe off a little bit of my paint that's still left on my brush, and then get some more water and start to add it to my red. So now my brush is clean and I can paint with different colors. Whether you're face-to-face or virtual learner, it's really important that you keep your paints clean. So in between every color, make sure you wash your brush. Remember, dip it, don't swish it. All right, I finished 2 areas with red, but I'm not done with red yet. I'm going to use some strokes of red to make some lines on my back tail of my rooster. Alright, so far I've used colors that are pretty typical of a normal rooster. I've used red and I've used orange. Now, it's okay to use whatever colors you want any place, but I really want this rooster to be abstract. So for the next couple colors, I'm going to be thinking about colors that don't normally go on roosters. Colors like perhaps blue. So I'm going to paint part of my rooster blue, and I would encourage you, don't be afraid of using colors that don't normally go to the thing that you're drawing, right? Be brave, experiment, and try stuff that you normally wouldn't see, because this is abstract. It's not like a real rooster, so let's make it colorful. Oh, almost forgot to clean my brush. Remember, every single color. Alright, if you're using paints like me that you need to add water to and then rub to put on your brush, just know that you have different versions of color. When I use a little bit of water, I get a dark version. If I add water, but I don't go back for more paint and it's mostly water instead of paint, I can get a lighter version. So don't be afraid to try to get dark versions and light versions of your colors. Alright guys, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but make sure you take your time and explore light versions, dark versions, and a bunch of variety of colors. Sometimes when I'm painting and I have the brush really kind of dry and it makes a scratchy noise, that means that I'm not using enough water. So I don't want to do that. I want to add water so that when I add my paint, it flows, right? It flows across the page. I don't want to have to work too hard where I'm scratching on the page. So if it's making a scratchy noise, add a little bit more water, maybe some paint too. Make sure it flows nice and easy, right? Paint's different than a lot of mediums because it should be easy to move around. Don't forget to go back towards the mouth, and if you made it a little bit 3D, fill in that space with a darker color. I'm going to finish up with the tongue, and then I'm going to get the back tail, and I think I should be done with my rooster. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your roosters turn out amazing. I know they will. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.